What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got another Alliance War video for you guys today. This was kind of like backed up just because I believe last week I didn't really upload much, and it was a combination of a couple things. One being a little bit more busy, having a couple of PC issues where for some reason my taskbar would go unresponsive. Sometimes the program would be unresponsive, but my taskbar was active. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I think I might have to like factory reset my computer. Anyways, so at the very start, we come up against the hidden node. Nobody had Scatterlands, I believe, and also I forget what happened, but I believe one of the persons was asleep, so I just came in. I was backup. Came in with Guillotine 2099, Quake, and Captain Infinity War. And Guillotine 2099, I brought her in. Usually the team is Warlock, Quake, and then Namor or something like that on a hidden path, but we didn't take the traditional path 7. We actually ended up taking this fight and then going on to path 4 for the rest of the war. Alright, so we're actually, so if you noticed, earlier in this video, I actually sped up the video by like a lot, and essentially I just redid my masteries. It cost me some units, but it's what you gotta do sometimes. As you can see, I have 12, or what seems like 12 mastery points. And what we're gonna do in this fight is, so we already know it. We pretty much know it's gonna be Havoc. I used Scatterlands bot to find that out. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking for how to find out who the champion is, and I will do that in a later video just because I don't want this video to drag out to be like 30 minutes long. I really think, honestly, 17 minutes, 18 minutes is already a really long video, but I tried to cut out as much as a lot, and yeah, it still came out pretty long. Anyways, yeah, so it does end up being Havoc. I didn't really do any duels to find out the spacing for anything, which I should have in hindsight. It just really helps you out. If you are serious about war, dueling is your best friend. Anyways, I get hit, I believe, yeah, I get hit with heavy. I don't think I get hit with other basic attacks. I do get hit with an SP1 though. Again, I believe I did these fights really late, probably like 3 in the morning my time. And yeah, I just had to join in because I didn't want people to get stuck at a certain fight, and to not have the energy required in order to finish the map. So yeah, I went in. And so the first SP1 I did just fine, but yeah, I don't know why an SP1 later in this fight I completely missed. Anyways, this Havoc really isn't that big and tough of a fight. At the start of the fights, you have to land 6 heavies, which is, I want to say it's tough and it's not tough. Now, if you have, you can do this one of 2 ways, or well, you have a choice of 2 different ways against Havoc. So one of the choices you have is to reparry, which I did several times at the start of the video, where essentially you parry the first medium. There's enough delay where you can actually parry again. You like slightly lift your thumb and put it back down for another parry. And the other method you have is you literally back up to the wall as far as you can, and you evade his heavy attack, and then after the second hit of his heavy attack, you can punish it. Now, for some champions, it's going to be a little different. Let's say it was Medusa. With Medusa, you can actually interrupt her heavy, so she'll land the first hit of her heavy, and then you interrupt it with the heavy, so she won't land the second heavy hit. But yeah, this Havoc fight isn't too big a deal. As you saw, I did use one of the pre-fight abilities for critical hits. I thought I might need this. I am running a rank 4 Guillotine 2099, so yeah, damage might be an issue. I noticed Guillotine 2099 has a very low health pool. This rank 4, I believe, has like 17,000 or something like that. So yeah, pretty low. Alright, but we get Havoc down and we capture the soul, so we're looking good for the next fights. I believe I used Captain Infinity War for the next fights. We had Mr. Mac on standby in case that I died for some reason, and he also taxied me to the Thing mini boss. I swap my masteries again and go for full suicides, because the reason that I took off suicides for that first fight is in case it was a void. On hidden nodes, if a person is running suicides, full suicides, and they're not running some kind of champion that can mitigate the damage or nullify the suicides, and there's a void on that path, you can pretty much assume you're dead. It's kind of like if you go into an Elsa fight and she has the bleed suicide, and you're not running a mutant, then yeah, you can pretty much kiss those revives and potions goodbye. But yeah, in this fight, this mini boss, where we use Quake. Quake is just it's a little too easy to just not run Quake. So yeah, this fight is, I don't know, it's pretty boring, but it's what you gotta do, especially with some of these champions being the way that they are. And yeah, it's either that or somebody else would have to take him and actually deal with the rock stack. So yeah, Quake is definitely the optimal option here. The aggression armor is not a big deal. I believe the other node was explosive personality. So yeah. Alright, so Thing is down to 20%, now down to 15%, so we just need to, I believe, get one more Aftershock to expire. There we go, and we just hit him, and Thing is down. So, pretty good fight. So far, we're looking pretty decent. My Guillotine 29, because I got hit twice. Just around half health, so not the best, not too bad though. Alright, so we're going to run up against this Voodoo. I believe I used Captain Infinity War, and now because I have both Quake and Guillotine 29, who are Science and Tech Champion respectively, my Captain Infinity War is actually going to land 2 debuffs on parries most of the time. Now, I didn't think about it before. I thought it was just damage over time debuffs, but it looks like it's any debuff. As you can see, I've thrown 2 heavies, and this Voodoo is already... he got over a bar of power. He's got 10 heavies, and look, 1 heavy actually got him a full bar of power. So yeah, we're just gonna have to be careful with that. We are using parry a lot, just to mitigate some damage, but also because it grants us the kinetic charges. So it's kind of a give and take, because we need to parry to maximize our damage, but also because we're parrying and landing those debuffs, it is kind of hurting. It's not exactly hurting us, but it's making the fight a little tougher than it needs to be. Alright, so basically I charge the heavy and go into an SP3 without landing a parry, and that way the power gain that he gains is less than in normal, or less than if I had a ton of debuffs on. Get him down in the last couple combos, and yeah, Voodoo's down, so pretty easy fight. I honestly thought that I was going to use Captain Infinity War for a lot more fights, but I ended up only using him for 1 fight. Next we come up against this Doom. Now, Doom isn't especially tough using Quake. He does have block penetration, which can be an issue, and it was a serious issue when Siphon was what it was before it got nerfed. But yeah, Doom, because of his block penetration and all his stats being like ridiculously high, it was an issue. But in this fight, because we're running Quake, we're not really getting hit or anything. We're doing just fine. Also, I'm losing more health and I'm regenning by a fair amount, and that's because I believe we are still boosted from that Havoc fight. Yeah, take him down, and that fight was actually pretty fast. It lasted just over 30 seconds. Alright, and now we actually have 1, 2, 3 mini bosses to take. Now I learned my lesson not to use Quake against Warlock. We're gonna use Quake one more time. So I believe we used Quake 3 fights this war. We're gonna use Quake against that Guillotine 2099. It's just a pretty easy option. I don't wanna expend more resources than I need to by using Guillotine 29 because we do have the soul on Guillotine 2099. So we could potentially use her against her, but yeah, I just ended up using Quake just because it would save me a lot of resources. So yeah, we pop in 1 potion, I believe, into Quake. It should be enough. If I mess up, then I'm probably dead. The node on this mini boss, it grants them a chance to stun on basic attacks. Well, I'm not sure if it's just basic attacks, but there is a chance that I could get stunned if I get hit. So yeah, defender's attacks have a 10% chance to inflict a stun. So yeah, just try not to get hit. So we should be fine. I actually played this fight pretty well, personally, or I think, because so generally I end up messing up towards like the 2-minute mark of just quaking and shaking or quaking and baking. It's just I don't know. It's just the longer you're doing something, it's just a matter of time sometimes. I mean, some people can play Quake like gods and just never get hit. Yeah, that's not me. I'm still a human, so yeah, I do play Quake and Shake. And for the most part, it's going pretty well. Like, she's down to just under 50%. We're doing fine. We haven't got hit. I believe we end up blocking like 3 hits in total throughout this fight, which I think is pretty good. Again, I don't think I'm that great of a Quake player, but this fight I do believe I did pretty well on. Ended up getting 20 aftershocks on there, so yeah, that was really, really good for us. Helped us get a lot of damage out of there. Right, and I believe we just need to land 1 more aftershock, and then we're actually done with this fight, I believe. So Guillotine 29 is actually a really, really annoying defender because if you hit her with basic attacks, she actually has a chance to go invisible and activate the miss mechanic. So yeah, that's why we use Quake. It's just a much easier option. Plus she has flow, makes her a really, really difficult defender. Alright, so going on to this next fight, we're going to be using Guillotine 29 with the, I believe it's the heal and the power drain, which in hindsight, so I learned in this fight that to think twice. So as you can see, I have 17,000 health. We do end up healing a little bit more, I believe. Yeah, we use the small L2 potion. I'm not really too worried about item use because we only have this fight and the next fight, so if we do end up reviving, we can just chuck in the big potions and heal up to full. But yeah, we end up using I believe the power drain and the healing pre-fight. And at first it's really, really good. It's because we're mitigating a lot of the damage, plus we're healing a lot, not a lot, we're healing a decent amount as well. It's helping us stay in this fight. It's only 43 per medium, but it's definitely a lot better than not having anything at all. But yeah, I didn't realize how much health we were losing because we are at 95% of health. We don't get hit once. And yeah, we lost 2% health. Lost another 2% health because of the virus that Warlock places on you if you hit him 20 times, and yeah, places that virus on you. So yeah, the majority of our health has actually been lost to the infection. And so now I noticed, I'm like, dude, like why am I losing health? And so yeah, I noticed, and I'm like, okay, we actually have to like play this smart and just use light attacks. I blocked this SP1. I'm not comfortable fully evading his SP1. I think it's a pretty tricky SP1 personally. So yeah, we just try to play it safe, block the whole thing. If he throws SP1, we'll mostly block it, and try for the most part to just bait out SP2s. Alright, but yeah, as you can see, a lot of our health has gone, and a big chunk has to have been from the infection. So yeah, another one, another 2% health gone. Block that and evade the last hit. And we're down to 15% health, so I'm very worried that I might not make it. We get him down to 4%, use our SP3, and with that we lock in another soul for the next fight. So yeah, pretty interesting fight. Now I know not to use the healing one. We should have just kept the armor up. It would mitigate some of the block damage that we took, and we wouldn't have taken infection damage as well. So yeah, I know that for now, but for that fight I didn't know, or I didn't think about it. There's sometimes in Alliance War fights where in theory it looks really good, but then you end up doing it and then you're like, okay, so that's how that works. You end up dying or taking a ton of damage. Alright, so for this one we are going to use both of the healing and the power drain, because this Symbiote Supreme, his power gain is really low, and because of our Guillotine 29 going to be power draining on mediums, it's actually going to do us a big favor. So we're actually going to keep him at a low power for a lot of the fights. As you can see, well, I mean, like, we've already gotten him down to 80%, and he doesn't even have a bar of power. Especially on this is a triple power gain node, so it's 100% plus 200%. And then if we want to, we can even use the SP1 to power drain him as well. But I believe we don't do that. I didn't do it because I know the damage that I'm dealing is actually a decent chunk. So yeah, it's just best for me not to. He's down to under 50% now. And yeah, every time we hit him, we actually dealing over 1,000 damage to him. Plus, we also have the degen debuffs as well. So yeah, this fight is actually going down really fast. Down to 23, under 20%. We just need like one more combo, maybe less actually. Slow down our combo. Notice he's at 4%. Get in the SP3, and we're locked in for another soul for the next fight, which is actually the Mojo boss. I'm not gonna show it just because I did like 20% health. We were just kind of ganging on. I got one of his Mojo's degens, and it took me down like 50% or 60%, and I didn't heal up or anything. So I was like, wow, that's a great mechanic, because I feel like Mojo is like, if you gain any, so basically you do any fights, basically you play the game and you have the possibility of getting degen on you. So yeah, anyways guys, that is it to the Alliance War video. It's a pretty long war, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.